One of the most obnoxious trends from AAA gaming over the last, 5-6 years has been the insistence of making every single PC launcher have its own account and have its own, really just the existence of all these like different publisher-specific PC launchers, or if it's not a PC launcher, it's a PC account that goes through the other launcher. It's the kind of thing that we used to tolerate on the PC because it just wasn't very common, but now that there's like 24 different ones if you want to be up to date with all the AAA games, which granted, not a lot of PC gamers actually do nowadays, which, good on us, support the indies and the AA's. It's really annoying having 50 million different accounts, and it's extra annoying when these 50 million different accounts get in the way of the enjoyment or the acquiring of the game itself, which is a decent enough segue to Sony and how they've been handling the PC, because I think they've been handling the PC and third-party account linkings the worst out of everybody. Earlier this year, Sony started trying to force PSN accounts into every single PlayStation PC port, which not only drastically reduced the number of countries that these games were available in, because PSN is not available in close to 200 countries where those games on the PC were being sold regardless of account requirement before, but also Sony has notoriously terrible security with their PSN. So not only are you restricting the number of countries that can actually buy your games on the PC, but now if somebody wants to support your work on the PC, you are requiring them to just put their faith in your security that has proven time and time again to be subpar. Sony did some talking the other day. And thank you to viewer TGN for making me aware of this nonsense. If you guys ever have stuff that you want me to talk about or you think is video worthy, go ahead and shoot me a DM on Twitter about it. My DMs are open. Takes me a minute to get to them sometimes because I get a lot, but I do my best. But on November 8th, Sony revealed they are not giving up on the PSN account requirement for PC games, which is a rather drastic shift of tone from this. Remember this? Remember when Sony said this after the Helldivers thing? How quickly we forget. But the company president says that it's necessary so people can safely play their games. It is necessary for PSN accounts to be in PC games because it's all about safety. Never mind the fact that Sony has been putting their games on PC for years at this point. Years they've been putting games on PC, and the PSN requirement is a new thing. Sony was making millions and millions of dollars off of PC ports of their single-player games without a PSN requirement. The whole reason that they're expanding their presence in the PC market is because those initial games did so well, and yet, suddenly, it's all about safety. Suddenly, the PlayStation PC experience wasn't safe before. And that's why we need to shove PSN requirements into offline single-player games. Because apparently, you can unsafely play an offline single-player game? And that's why we need PSN in games like Horizon and God of War Ragnarok and Spider-Man 2? ? No, this is not about safety, and anyone who knows anything about anything in the universe can see this is not about safety. This is about cheesing monthly active users for their PSN count. That's really all this is. A lot of people in the AAA industry, and Sony included, have confirmed and just flat out said that console sales and the console gaming community is not really growing. It's been stagnant for a long time. But if you're a giant corporation like Sony who needs constant growth to show to investors, this is just an easy way to do that. You shove PSN requirements into places where they weren't required before, and boom, look at that. Oh, our PSN counts, they're growing. We're growing so many monthly active users on PSN. Never mind the fact that it has absolutely nothing to do with any real growth. It doesn't actually connect to any kind of real growth in your company. You're just shoving requirements on players that didn't need them before. Literally nothing has changed. This is literally not associated to any kind of change here, but it's an easy way for Sony to pad their PSN stats to investors. That is all this is about. That's why they don't care about actually cutting sales of these PC games. 170 plus countries are knocked out of the sales pool when you require a PSN account. They don't care because Sony literally doesn't care if they make less money off of the games if it means they can push that PSN number higher and get more money from investors. It is so scummy, and it's so transparent why they're doing this. So for them to come out and say it's about safety, that you need the PSN account on single player games for safety reasons, this is a blatant lie. It's one thing to say, we want the PSN account in there because XYZ reason. XYZ whatever nonsense reason. Okay, fine. But when you just blatantly lie, like, come on. But I'm giving you all this background because obviously people were criticizing Sony for saying this. It's a completely dumb thing to say. It's a total lie. But you know who defends the total lies that Sony says? It's the Sony fanboys. You can always rely on them to just show up out of nowhere. So we're gonna read through some of the responses and the defenses of this from the Sony faithful, and yeah, this one sucks. You guys literally had nothing good to go off of here. You didn't have to step into the ring this time. Like with the Sony guys, it's usually like they have like 1% of a winning point and they try to blow that up into a 100% winning point. You guys didn't even have 1% here. This is indefensible and you still did your best. Samson3121 says Sony should stop putting their games on PC because you all don't deserve their games. If they allow you to play without an account, then console gamers will have to deal with cheaters. Yes, requiring PSN accounts on God of War Ragnarok means console players have to deal with cheaters. You are so smart, Samson. You're so smart. Also, even if you're trying to make the argument that's like, oh, it's this, he just meant about the live service games. It's for cheating purpose on live service games. Oh, I wasn't aware that PSN had built-in anti-cheat. Oh, wait, it doesn't. Anti-cheat is something completely different. This implies that PC games that don't have a console-specific account linking just don't have anti-cheat, which is obviously wrong. If you don't want people to cheat in your games, put fucking anti-cheat in there. PSN has no correlation with cheaters. What is this? Sony Prophet replies and says, why do you keep bringing this up? If you want to play PlayStation games, you need a PSN. Bottom line. If you don't like it, don't buy it. They aren't changing it. It's very simple. Yes, but you didn't used to need a PSN. You didn't used to need PSN to buy PlayStation games on PC, and the addition of PSN has done literally nothing positive for you as a consumer. In fact, it's done negative things. Blindly defending Sony's decision is not a defense of Sony's decision. But also, you know you didn't have to have a PSN account either before, right? You know the internet didn't used to be so like connected to your gaming experience. You used to be able to just, buy a single player game and not worry about it because it was single player. But thanks for defending this, I guess. Dialga Marine says they're sick of PC losers torrenting their games. Every other company requires it. Why is it only wrong for Sony? First of all, every other company does not require it. Second of all, if they were tired of people torrenting their games, they would stop selling games on PC. Third of all, the only reason they're putting PSN requirements on the PC is because there's a metric boatload of PC users they can use to cheese their stats on PSN to investors, which wouldn't be the case if people weren't buying their games and not torrenting them. Good try, though. Hello, I'm interrupting this video to remind you that this channel is sponsored by 4D Gaming. If you would like a really nice mousepad, go to 4dgaming.com and use code Joe for a discount. This channel is also sponsored by Glitch Energy. It's basically G Fuel, but better, so go to Glitch Energy and use code Joe for a discount. Thank you for letting me interrupt your content. I'll let you keep watching it now. Unofficial Astronaut says people could have just created an account ages ago, would have saved so much crying from these PC losers. Yeah, no, if we just went along with the shitty thing a while ago, then the shitty thing wouldn't be bothering us now. Phenomenal argument. Phenomenal argument. Mr. High C says PC Zents loves cheats. We're talking about single player games. Single player games is what we're talking about. Which, those aren't cheats, those are mods. And mods are a thing that we have to make our experience better. And something that PlayStation will not give to you. But yeah, just say the thing in a shitty tone of voice. That means you're right. Yeah, the PC version of this game has like infinitely more to do because of mods. But we can't have that. PC peasants, man. Sony said those are bad, so we can't have them. Don't make me think for myself, it hurts. M says he's right. As a PlayStation gamer, I feel very unsafe playing with PC players, like walking as a black man behind a white woman at night. It's just so uncomfortable for me. Hugo Azevedo says, good, sign up or shut up. Yeah, man, you tell them. You tell those consumers what they need to do. You just sign up for the thing. The thing wasn't required before, and now it is required, and since being made a requirement, the product has gotten literally and measurably worse. But stop criticizing the corporation. Sign up or shut up. I'm so cool with my shirtless profile picture. Look at my nipples. Those are the nipples that Sony licks for me. I don't know why I said that. Icon Era, you know, they had to jump in on this. They made a thread. It says, Sony boss admits forcing PC gamers into PlayStation accounts can invite pushback, but insists they have to keep games safe. Which, again, this is not about safety. If it was about safety, you would get, like, better anti-cheat or DRM or stuff like that. Requiring a PlayStation account literally does nothing positive. But then Samson, hey, remember him? He's back. He says, sorry, racists. You have to make an account so people can inform on you and get your racist ass banned. Today I learned that the only way to ban people for being toxic is to have a PlayStation account. That's not true. But, you know, when in doubt, call people racist. I mean, that always works, right? 100% win rate on that strategy. If people disagree with you or they're doing something you don't like, just call them all racist. That will definitely get you what you want. Firebreather responds, only stupid, quote, gamers would push back on this. It's a simple account sign up. Want to play PlayStation games on PC? Get a PSN account. Again, just repeating Sony's decision back to me in a shitty tone of voice, that's not a defense of the decision. You didn't used to have to do this, and now you do. There's no good reason given for why you do now have to do this, especially since now that you do have to do this, the product has gotten worse. Objectively worse. There are now more security concerns than there were before. There are now less regions who can buy the game. There's now the added issues that come with the game being associated with PSN instead of just normal Steam servers. Also, why do I have to concern myself with PSN for an offline single player game? You guys aren't addressing any of these things. You're just repeating the words that Sony said and then getting mad at PC gamers for listening to the words that Sony said. Like, what is this strategy? This is so pathetic. One more. Big B Wolf says, right choice. With PC pirates who doesn't want to pay, this is the way. Again, Sony wouldn't be doing this if PC gamers hadn't already proven themselves to be willing to pay. They wouldn't be shoving PSN requirements into their PC community if the PC community hadn't already formed. You see how this works? You can't require additional things from a community that doesn't exist. Sony was making buttloads of money off the PC before they were doing this. You people are so desperate to defend literally everything Sony does for absolutely no reason. Like, what do you get out of this? What do you get out of this? It doesn't even make sense. Your arguments don't make sense. Oh my gosh. I have no good closing points. I have no good closing points. I hate this. Toodles.